What's up, guys? I'm Stevie James with APTV, and I'm hanging out with Rob, Thrasher, and TJ from Escape the Fate. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Pretty great. How are you doing?
I'm alive and well. So you guys just released a new album, which you have in your hand here, called Hate Me.
Boom.
What's the overall theme of the album?
Well, I don't... Fuck, man. I mean, the dude...
It's a loaded question,
Catching
right?
you off guard right
well,
away.
I mean, I'm looking at the back here, and every song kind of... I don't know. There's just so many different topics. I mean, that's one thing Escape the Fate's always been... that's what we've always done, is that we just tackle all aspects of life. But, I mean, the resounding theme, when you really put it all together, is just... It's a lot about just letting go of all of our, insecurities and all that stuff, and just persevering and just wanting to be great. And so... That's why we called it Hate Me, because we just decided, you know what, fuck it, if you don't like us, I don't care, go ahead, hate me, I don't care. We're confident in who we are now, we are who we are, we don't care where we belong, we're gonna do what we do, and that's it.
That's awesome. You guys just released a new music video for I'm Alive. And in that video, there's like a lot of old school magic tricks going on, but spoiler alert, they're not actual magic tricks. Everyone kind of...
They're illusions.
It's illusions, and it all kind of falls apart at the end there. What's the concept behind that video? Who came up with it? What's the song name?
Craig
What's it all
actually
about?
directed that video. But,
Awesome.
He's not here to talk about it right now, but he did a fucking awesome job at it, though. Like, all the shots look great. Rage did a fucking killer job.
Yeah, and like the concept behind it's kind of like, all four of us have a different illusion, right? And it kind of all coincides with the artwork of Hate Me. And mine, for example, is the spinning wheel of death, which my lovely co-star switches at the very end. I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen this video already, so...
If you haven't, you need to.
It's out there.
Ever hear of YouTube? It's on there.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, we switch at the end, and, like, it's not me on the wheel. I was the magician of death the whole time, and throw that knife. I'm not very good at knife throwing, and I, like, hit her in the chest. She dies.
You are good at knife throwing.
Yeah, I guess so.
It depends what you were aiming for, huh?
Well, basically, basically, what the theme, what it sums it all up is that with Escape the Fate, it's not always what you see is what you get, and in this, what it represents is that we're all in these death-defying situations, right? Where you think you're gonna kill us. We got Craig in a tank of water and he's drowning.
Yep.
So you think he's gonna die, and you're throwing knives at this motherfucker. You think, damn, dude, one of these is gonna get him. He's gonna die. You're pointing a fucking arrow straight at him. He's gonna die. He's gonna get his fucking head chopped off. These are all things that are like that's how the band feels. Like at any point, we're like just always in this situation where it's just gonna all end and we're all gonna die. Escape the Fate, will die. But as the name of the band is, we escape that fate, and what you see is not what you get. It's an illusion. We end up on top. We're the ones in control after all is said and done.
That's awesome. Very cool.
We're the master of the puppets.
Nice. Little Metallica reference out there. All right, so you guys are on tour in support of your album.
Right.
Briefly take me through a day from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. I know you go to bed early, but for those of you that don't, or what's going on in the morning, just take me through a day from top to end. Average day on tour.
Everyone's day is completely different, I'm sure. You want to go first?
Start around 8 a.m., start around 11 a.m., start around about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it really does depend, though. If we get to a venue on time, we'll wake up, take showers. We have a shower on this bus. We're in this bus called Stormtrooper, and it
Nice.
looks like a Stormtrooper on the outside, and it's very nice on the inside. So we'll get we'll get our coffee, start our day up. On this tour, we're doing a ton of interviews to support the record, and then we go in for sound check, and that's the bulk of our work is make sure our sound's all good, make sure our guitars are set up, his drums are all good. And then from there, we kind of have a few hours to kind of go and do our own thing, explore the city. If we're overseas, we like to go and sightsee and stuff.
I think this tour has been a lot more about the work, though. I think
this one, the band has a high work ethic.
We're very passionate about the new record, so I think this time around it's really about just committing to all kinds of things that are going to focus on promoting the record. And a lot of it has to do with meeting fans. So we do a lot of meet and greets, and we stay after our show and meet tons of fans for like hours, dude. Like I hung out the other day just like talking to fans and stuff. It's just getting to know them, and like the impact that your music makes, like it has an impact on them. And so like I kind of get that perspective and get to know them and talk to them, and doing that, interviews all day, and just it's all focused on the work at hand, and that is making sure we get this record in front of as many people as possible. And so that's what this tour's been about. But you know, usually on a tour, we like to go have fun and sightsee and, you know, party and whatever. And so this tour's been work, man.
That's awesome, though. What separates this album from past albums? What makes it worth putting that extra effort into?
It's good.
We poured our entire hearts and souls into this thing. I think it's like some of the best material the band's ever done. And like everyone collaborated on it. Like everyone was writing lyrics, everyone's writing guitar parts, everyone's writing drum parts, and it's like you know, having, you know, more than just one hand on it, like really like I think made the work better, you know.
I think
we're all invested into it.
I think what happened was that in the last couple albums, like I've said this in the past, is like my job in Escape the Fate used to be like to try to hold everything together. I don't know how I became like the glue, the fucking dude. Let's just keep this together, man. We got something. And it's weird because like I feel so weird not being that anymore. Now my job is to be an artist, to be a drummer, to be a performer, and that was like the whole thing with this album. It was no more about, you know, just it wasn't work anymore, man. We weren't just like, well, we got to put out an album and this is what we do, so we have to, and we have a deadline and we need this many songs, so let's go right. Like this, it started to just lose its meaning. We lost sight of why we got into this in the first place, which is because we wanted to talk about our feelings through song. And this time around, we're like, fuck that. Let's make a great record. Let's make something that stands the test of time. And, you know, luckily we were able to get Howard Benson, and he made it his personal mission that he no longer wanted to be known as the producer who sold 40 million records and has a ton of pop, you know, hits. And, you know, as far as, you know, with our genre and scene, the guy who, you know, made 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, he said, I want to be known as the guy who broke Escape the Fate, man. And I'm like, holy fuck, you're fucking Howard Benson, dude. You blew up my cam. Are you kidding me? You know?
That's awesome.
And so he taught us how to be a band again, man. And his whole thing was just go write music. Go write fucking music. Go write everything you're feeling, whatever, you know, breakdowns or guitar solos or riffs or just simple melodies, whatever it is you guys are into. Go do it. And then he didn't leave. He didn't come in and say, you guys have to be this or be that or this type of hit. He's like, just go write. And that's what we did. And we had a lot of fun doing it. It wasn't always easy. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, we almost killed each other day one, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What happened there?
So like a lot of the writing and stuff, like we kind of actually wrote like a lot of the drum arrangements before tracking guitars. So we tracked all the guitars first, and then the final step was, you know, for Robert to go and perform all the drums.
Which is usually backwards for most records.
Right.
Yeah.
Most, like, usually start with your foundation was like drums, bass, guitars, and build from there. This one we kind of did it a little bit differently, just so we had more control of the arrangements and what we wanted to do exactly. And day one, like, I had like, actually the first song we did was Alive in the studio, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd done like my arrangement on it. And then I was like, here you go, Robert. You know, mess around with the drums a little bit on a computer. And
I was like, no, dude. No, this is wrong, bro.
He spent like 48 hours on it, like just like crazy. Manipulating like kicks and snares and like changing the patterns and stuff. And it came back, and, you know, to me it was like a little bit mechanical, and like we had this huge like argument about it. I like stormed out of the room. And I was like calling a buddy of mine. I was like, dude, this record's not even gonna happen, man. It's like, this is day one. I can't even track my guitars. And then finally he was like, dude, he's a drummer. You need to get a drum set in front of him. So I came back to the studio. I dragged a drum set all by myself. I was like, Robert, I'm sorry, man. I fucking love you. Like, we got to do this together. And then we started. I plugged in an amp, and we started going riff by riff. And he just locked in with
the old school way.
We did it the old school way, you know?
And so there was like, I mean, the songs were there, but the feel was not.
Needed
that's
the
what
icing
he
on
did.
the cake.
He brought in
Yeah.
the human quality of whatever
He
it is that makes
did
me play the
express
way I
himself,
do.
like, yeah,
That's what we did.
physically.
Because it's easier, and I know a lot of bands and younger artists who are doing this. Yeah, you program shit on the computer. It's just easy. That's just the reality. But so the bones were there, but it just was missing something, and that's what he did. He brought it, and we got together, and we did the rest of the album that way, and it was so
Song
fucking
by
dope.
song. It was like one night we'd work on all the drum arrangements with like a live guitar. Then the next day I would track all the guitars, and then that night we would do all the drums for the next song, and then I would track guitars for the next song.
And
That's
we-
kind of how we did like all the foundation for the record.
And you asked what makes this record different than others?
Yeah.
Is that this record, there was no one had a specific job though, even though I'm the drummer, right? It's like
Right.
we all wrote. Like the second track, Live for Today, he wrote on his own. Vocals, drums, guitars, he wrote everything. And then, we made it Escape the Fate.
Yeah.
And he wrote, Terrible Children, the whole thing. Like, it's just crazy. Like, we didn't have any egos this time around. It's just
Yeah.
whatever was the best, we would help each other. We'd be brothers and we'd back each other up and go, this is his vision. Let's make it better, instead of like,
We tried like
fuck you,
every idea.
Yeah, I
every-
want to use my
like,
song. Yeah.
Anyone had an idea, we tried it. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, that sounds like it would be a stupid idea or something. It was like, let's just lay it down. And that's the great thing about technology is that like, we have unlimited hard drive space, so we can record as many guitar parts as we want to, as many drum parts as he wants to.
When I wrote Just a Memory on instrumental, lyrically is not what I had in mind. I wanted it to be more personal self-reflection, but Craig had something he needed to say, and it was an angry song, and it was directed towards, people in his past. And I said, fuck it, man. And that's if this is the right song instrumentally for you to get your outlet, then fucking do it. Sounds
Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You can definitely hear that in the songs I've heard from the record. To close out, what's all your favorite songs on the record? What's your favorite, yours and yours as well? If you have one. I know it's hard to pick one.
I'm just going to throw this out there. One of my favorite songs on the record is called Let Me Be. It starts out with like a single acoustic guitar and, a vocal melody, and then it breaks into like a full live band thing with like marching drums and, a big arrangement, and then it busts into like a classic 80s guitar solo, which I love, of course.
Absolutely.
And then, it's just I can just imagine like everyone singing that. That's
There's
like
a feeling you get, dude.
yeah, that's like the new like proposal song, the wedding song, like the My First Date song.
Perfect.
So I love that one.
TJ?
Well, for me, it's the entire record.
That's
good.
an
I
easy
mean,
answer. That's a
it's-
cop out.
No, but it's like he said, like it was our blood, sweat, and tears into this, and it's like you can't hate on any of your songs because why would you write something that you hate?
Exactly,
So it's
yeah.
like we love every piece of it. So
That's
I
awesome.
mean, for me, it's breaking me down, and the reason why Let Me Be is like, there's a feeling I get about that song, but the whole record I'm proud of. But breaking me down is because lyrically, I think it's suits exactly what I've been feeling with the band forever. I mean, yes, I'm the last original member, and the problem that I've had is that I'm such a loyal guy and so devoted that it's always hard to like let go of shit. And even if it's like not doing myself a favor, like the best thing to do would be to let go of certain people in certain situations. And that's what that song is all about, is loving someone, but loving them enough to let them go. And that's something that to me is like, hits my life, hits the nail on the head right there.
That's awesome. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up?
Hate Me, out now.
Pick up that shit.
All right, guys. I'm Stevie James with APTV. We've been talking to Escape the Fate. Their new album, Hate Me, is out now. Go pick it up. See you next time.